My work this semester has been an attempt to bring positive attention and awareness to some really important issues. It affects 1 in 5 Americans. Chances are that's someone you know, someone you care about. Understanding leads to empathy. I believe is a big part of our lack of understanding, and that's the media's influence and entertainment's industry's influence educating us about mental illness, in that they don't really represent accurate facts or representation of what it's like, all stages, even accurate information. It tends to glorify the most crisis times. It exaggerates certain illnesses, or sometimes it's just throwing a bunch of symptoms together that don't stick together as anything even close to real. There's a lot of proof that people don't understand what certain illnesses are, and maybe their only exposure is coming from what they see on TV.
Definitely was the misconception and the misunderstanding of mental illness. There's not a lot, if any, mental illness in my family, and so this diagnosis, and much less such a serious one, pertaining to a behavior that can't be treated. When I've told friends, or I still think there's oh wow, that's really too bad, and then you move on. So the reaction is sympathetic and empathetic, but I haven't experienced the desire in other friends to understand more about it. With very few people that like, oh, tell me more, and because I'd like to understand too why it's that way, and it's that's you don't get that kind of support. And I do think that's mental illness in general. Nobody wants to hear that you're sad, depressed, lonely, and that feeds even deeper into the borderline personality. Is bigger than that. It's bigger than I'm depressed, or I have anxiety, or she also has ADHD, so they don't want to, even that, I mean, people have a better understanding of ADHD, but even that, I think people think take some drugs and you'll be fine. I would tell people, it's the old adage that's out there that don't judge another person because you never know what that person is going through. I've had to remind myself of that many times, but it's so very true.
My hope is that by telling stories about real people and also allowing real people to tell and share their stories, that we can break up disinformation and not allow that to spread, to help encourage people that are real to get support, and to open people's eyes to what they're seeing and to challenge it. If 1 in 5 people in America have a mental illness, it's far too big a deal to ignore. It's far too big a deal to pretend that it doesn't matter. As an artist and creator, this feels like a very important thing to be in on. It feels like something that I can empower others with my tools. And also something that anybody could create something to express themselves with and say, look here, this is who I am.